What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Cjthecheesedj here, and we are back with another A to Z of Arc. And today, guys, we're taking a look at none other than the Argy. This guy is hands down one of the best tames, in my opinion, in the game. Like, it makes things so much easier. So, guys, today we're going to go over how to tame it, what it does, and all that good stuff. So, guys, to tame it, it's a simple knockout tame. However, the best way to go about taming these guys is building a 3-door dinosaur gateway trap. So you can build this out of stone, you can build this out of wood. It is probably best to build it out of the stone so it doesn't get damaged by any sort of creatures in the area. But all you need to do is chuck down the trap, make sure they're relatively close to each other. You can see just like that. Put down the third one. Make sure you chuck doors on each end. So make sure we got the gates. Here we go. Put this bad boy right here. Make sure you've got one on each end. And you can simply just kite the RG into the trap. So for example, we're going to go in. You're going to get in here, mate. There we go. Walk out the side, go around, close the door. Boom, bada boom. Just like that, you've got yourself an RG trap. It's not able to get itself out of there, so that's really good. Now, what you can do is you can work on knocking it out. However, one little trick that you can do to assist in knocking, well, not knocking out, but taming the RG, is by killing something and bringing it to eat it to the RG. So what I mean is we've just killed this scorpion, right? So we're going to drag the body here. Now the RG should aggro on the body and it'll get its regeneration buff. I say that and it should aggro onto it. Hello, buddy. You want to aggro onto your scorpion? Here we go. So now that it's aggroed onto the scorpion, you should knock it out. See how it's got the green tinge to it? This actually causes it to rapidly lose food. Like, look at that. The food just plummeted on the RG. Now, it's a little bit tricky to pull off, and the way you do it is you have to obviously have a little bit of torpor in the RG. This one was really easy to pull off because it was only a level 15. But for like the higher levels, you probably will need to bring a magnifying glass, or if you're not using mods, make sure you have a mod that shows the torpor. But when your RG is starting to get pretty high on the torpor, make sure you bring something for it to eat. Like we just brought that scorpion there, and that triggered its regeneration buff. Now, you've then got 20 seconds to knock it out. If you knock it out within that 20 seconds, the food will plummet, making the RG tame a really easy tame to get because its food is just nothing. There's no food there. You guys saw the food plummet. Really easy to, I mean, it's not really easy to pull off. It is possible to pull it off, especially on the higher level ones. Just make sure you've either got a modded spyglass or a magnifying glass to do it. And then all you need to do is chuck in some mutton, some prime, some kibble. So these guys use superior kibble. So if you don't have superior kibble on hand, use mutton. If you don't have that on hand, use prime meat. If you use this method, you're not going to need to worry about having any extra food because the food was just going to be all gone. So yeah, but once you've knocked this guy out and tamed it up, he has a large plethora of abilities. So let's go over those. Alrighty guys, so the RG has a huge amount of uses. Like I said, it is probably one of the most valuable creatures in the game. We're going to start off with, well, I mean, as basic as we can go. So first off, the RG is a great fighter mount. Main reason being because it has the ability to fly. It's got quite a large health pool and its melee damage is pretty nuts. Now this was a 150 tamed, so it's at 225, and this guy, well, obviously he's going to pack a punch. Now, I would recommend taming up multiple RGs and using multiple RGs for different purposes. Obviously having a weight RG, having a battle RG, having a health RG, that sort of stuff. But you can see here, we are able to deal out decent amounts of damage, and this isn't even imprinted. Now, you can also use these guys to go toe-to-toe with pretty much everything on the island, aside obviously from the most obvious ones, Gigas, Titans, you know, that sort of stuff. But you can easily take on Alpha Raptors, Alpha Carnos, Alpha Rexes. Because you have the ability to fly and attack at the same time, you're going to be pretty much not impervious, but you will be able to dodge most attacks from the Alphas. And if you ever start getting low on health, you can simply trigger its regeneration effect, which occurs over 20 seconds and heals your health up. So to trigger that, all you need to do is consume a corpse. I'm currently looking for a corpse to consume right now. So we've got a bunch of RGs and Sabertooths over here. So let's come in, swoop in, and you'll see us get this buff if these blasted RGs don't steal it first. Get off my corpse. So you can see there in the top right hand corner, we've got the rapid regeneration. This will cause your health to regenerate at a rapid rate, which is really helpful for fighting alphas, fighting anything really, because you can just consume a corpse and yeah, you're set. Now, you can consume a corpse multiple times. The majority of the time it's 3. So when you kill something, you can eat it 3 times, and that triggers it over 60 seconds if you space it out properly. And that's really helpful for just getting all your health back. Trust me, I've used it many a times. So yeah, you can definitely use these guys as a wall mount to go toe-to-toe with alphas, anything that you want to attack. Even like, I wouldn't recommend it 100% for PvP, but you can. The option is there. Now, obviously, these guys aren't the fastest flyers, which is a bit of a shame, but nonetheless, they do fill all the roles that you would need out of a flyer. So let's move on to their next capabilities. Now, these guys reduce the weight of certain resources in their inventory by 50%. We'll chuck a list up on the screen right here for you guys to see, so you can see what they're able to reduce by 50%, and it is quite a lot. Metal, crystal, obsidian, metal ingots, black pearls. These guys are great at reducing the weight of all that. Now, the added benefit of that is that you're able to use their saddle as a smithy. Now, you can't actually repair things in the saddle, so do take note of that. You can only craft things, which is a bit of a bummer, but nonetheless, you can still craft stuff. So you can craft anything that you can craft in a smithy in the back of an RG's inventory, which is really helpful. And with that extra 50% reduction on the resources, makes repairing stuff and creating stuff a lot easier. And blueprints as well. You can make blueprints in here. So like any flak blueprints that you have, you can make in the back of your RG, which is really great. Now, these guys are really good. They can get insane amounts of weight as well. You can get up to like 3k weight on an RG if you find a good one and breed it into a couple of lines. It's definitely plausible to get a ton of weight on these guys. And as well as that, they also can carry a bunch of tames. Now, why would you do that for, you're asking? Well, for many purposes. You can use this to kite other tames to traps. You can drop them in traps. You can pick up your tamed Anki, take it for metal runs around the mountainside, and transfer. Well, you wouldn't even need to transfer the metal. But once your Anki's overweight, you can pick it up with the RG, drop it in front of another metal node, climb down back, and hit the next metal nodes. It's great. You can tame up, you can pick up raptors, saber-tooths, daedons, you know, a bunch of tames with an RG, and it makes things really easy for taming, for kiting, you name it. You can pick stuff up, fly off with it, and you'll be sweet. Now, we'll chuck a list up of everything that the RG is able to carry in its talons on the screen for you guys to see. Boom, bada boom. Now, you also have a third pickup, which is with the RG's beak. Now, with the RG's beak, you can only trigger this while flying, and all you need to do is press the C button. This will allow you to pick up smaller tames. We'll chuck up a list of what you can pick up on the screen for you guys to see right now. So, otters, dung beetles don't count, but like microraptors, trudons, compies, all the small stuff you can pick up, dodos even, with the RG's beak. It makes things a lot easier. I don't know if dillos count as well. We'll chuck up the list for you guys to see. But yeah, this enables you to carry 2 tames at once on the RG. It's really helpful for that. And it's a really versatile mount. I love the RGs. They're such good mounts. Also, their color schemes are pretty amazing. You can see here on this one here, it's got like the basics brown and yellow and white. But the wings, the feathers, they all have different color regions. And it makes a very vibrant RG if you get lucky and find one during an event, or if you manage to breed it into your RGs. Now, you can also use the RG as a semi-taming platform. So for this, you're going to need a crossbow. You're going to need a grappling hook or multiple grappling hooks. You're going to set your RG onto follow, so that it obviously follows you. Grab your crossbow. You can bring along a parachute as well. It will enable you to make things a little bit easier. So grab a parachute, make sure you chuck that on as well. Make sure you equip your grappling hooks, otherwise you're going to be in trouble and you will not be able to grapple onto your RG. And we actually use this same method to tame up a Quetzal. So this is definitely plausible for you if you want to go about taming Quetzals or anything really. You can use this method to tame up really anything. So what we're going to do real quick, we're going to jump back on our RG. If we can, can you, RG? All right, there we go, we're on our RG. So we're going to come up the top here. We are going to simply jump off, hit 6 for our parachute, and set our RG to follow us. It will follow us, and you can then grapple onto it, just like that. Now you can have your parachute deployed, and you can actually whistle it to move to certain places, and then that will enable you to pretty much tame anything you want. You can keep it up in the sky. You can get it to move across. You can see there, we're able to command it. Now, you can also use this to tame up Quetzals, because you just hit whistle attack my target onto the Quetzal, and the RG isn't actually fast enough to attack the Quetzal, but it is fast enough to keep up with it. So it's a really good way of going about taming stuff if you want a different method, especially for Quetzals. It's really effective for Quetzal tames, but you can use this to tame Gigas, to tame Rexes. There are easier ways. Obviously, you can use traps and stuff like that, but this is as a last resort because you can switch out weapons that you're using and switch to your trank darts and fire down into stuff from below. It's really good. It's really fun. And then once you're done, you can simply just wind yourself back into your RG saddle and boom, just like that, you're all sweet back onto your RG, ready to go again. So RG is great. It's kind of like a mini mobile platform saddle, not mini platform saddle, mini mobile platform taming platform that you can use with grapples. And because these guys have really good stamina usage and they're able to get a lot of mileage out of their stamina, you're going to be laughing till the cows come home on how long you'll be able to stay up in the air. Really effective for taming a bunch of stuff, doing anything really. The RGs are one of the best tames in the game. As well, one of my favorite things that the RG is able to do, hold on, we'll show you right now. A lot of other flyers have this problem, and I hate it, is that they don't stop flying. So we'll show you guys what I mean. So we're going to come over here, right? Now, you guys have probably noticed this if you've gone out and tamed like Pteranodons or like Quetzals. So if you whistle your RG to follow you, it will stop right in front of you. It will fly slowly over you and it'll enable you to get on it. If you do the same sort of thing with the Pteranodon will just freaking fly past you and you're going to have a struggle trying to get on. Now, why this matters is because if you're in the middle of fighting something and, you know, you're getting attacked and you need your RG to help you, you can just whistle it to follow you, get it on passive, and it'll come by and pick you up without a jiffy. You do the same thing with the Pteranodon, you're going to be having problems, trust me. But yeah, that's the last thing for the RG, guys. These are amazing dinos to tame, and I would heavily recommend it. But yeah, that's going to wrap up today's video, guys. So hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, don't forget to leave a like. Subscribe down below for more. But other than that, guys, I will catch you in the next one.